influence the decision because you're
overthinking it. You're overthinking it. You're overthinking
it. Didn't come up.
You're overthinking it. Oh well, we had a walk off.
I don't like that. I can't speak.
We had a walk off.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Stern Spiel. It is episode number 8. We made it. 8 weeks of doing this.
Eight
so
episodes.
Far, right?
Eight episodes. 8 episodes in the current volume. But remember, there was a volume 1 where we did like another 7 or 8 episodes.
There was a version 1.
It's still out there.
It is. I feel like we can call that like the
early days.
The trial run.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a trial, but it's there. And I think we've been getting better as we go along. So here we are, episode 8.
Veronica. So my braids are gone.
Braids gone. Veronica, other than hair, how was your week?
Fine, but that's like a big thing. Like, I've done 8 episodes with long braids.
Oh, I see.
For the last 8 weeks.
I see.
And it just sucks because, I don't know. I don't love the curly hair look. It's barely curly right now. It's all brushed out, but yeah.
Maybe that'll open things up.
Open things up for what?
A more natural approach.
Huh. Okay.
Because it's all your hair now.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, yeah, I had a good week. What about you?
Things are bumping along. You know, your brother's in school and he started actual classes this week. So that's an important milestone, I think. Something we've all been waiting for a long time here. Yeah. And that's the week. That's it. Trying to keep things low. Trying to keep things low key.
So speaking of him being in college, so remember the video that I made? Like emotional support sibling?
Yes.
So I decided to put that on Instagram. And guess what?
We got a good response.
As of right now, that video has 113,000 views.
My God. Really?
On Instagram.
Wow.
Over 6,000 likes.
Okay.
And over, I think, 2,000 shares.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Any idea what sparked it? Like, what was in there?
I think what it is I kept it very general. And that was my goal in making this video. I made this for a potential thing that I'm working on. And
no, I think it's okay to say you did it for a job opportunity.
Yeah, I did it for a job opportunity. Yeah. So I wasn't planning on posting it. But I went to this conference on Saturday, the Black Girls in Media conference. Yeah. And one of the things that a lot of the panelists kept saying was like, you know, in terms of making content and like that area of digital media, it was just kind of like, just put it out there because you don't know who will resonate with it. And it could be like the thing, like even if one person resonates with it, it's worth it to like put it out there. And I just found that really inspiring. And I was like, you know what? I'll put it out there. I'll put it up on my Instagram. And, you know, I'm not trying to be like an influencer or anything. Like, I'll just put it up there. It's funny. Yep. It's the emotional support sibling at college. And
it had an underlying, you know, it was a story. And the story was, I'm cis. I went to my brother. I went when my brother, we were taking him to college, and what that day was like and what that weekend was like.
And so it
was kind of authentic. You know?
It was very authentic, and people have really been resonating with it. The fact that it has, I think right now, I'm going to look really quickly, it has over, and to be honest with you, I don't have a big following or anything on Instagram, so like this is really shocking to me. Yeah, it has 5,211 likes and over 1,100 shares.
5,000 likes, 1,100 shares, and how many views?
115,000.
So that the term engagement refers to, you know, someone taking an action versus the total number of views.
Yeah.
So it's like 5 or 6. So let's say 6,000 out of 100,000. It's like a 6% engagement.
Yeah, which
I mean,
is
I'm
like
not trying to be
terrible,
too scientific about it, but it means like, you know, 6 out of 100 people that look at it do something with it.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
That's not nothing.
Yeah, and it's annoying because Instagram doesn't show you like when somebody shares your post. So I'm assuming most of the shares are like to people's stories or something, or they're sending it to their friends and being like, oh my God, this is you, or their siblings or whatever. Yep. And I can't see it, which is unfortunate because I would love to know how people are receiving it. Mm-hmm. But I did see one yesterday randomly. It like slipped through through the cracks of Instagram, and somebody posted it to their story. I don't know them, and they were like, LOL, this is me with you, and they like tagged their sibling. So
okay.
it's really sweet,
I think what you picked up on is this is an experience that people have that they can relate to.
And it's topical too, because obviously everybody's going back to school right now.
So people are experiencing it right now. So this is us. This is how I experience things.
Yeah, so I'm kind of proud of that because, like I said, I wasn't like going to post it because it's not really my style necessarily, and I was like trying to like adapt to the style of this company I was trying to do it for, and
it was effective.
It was very effective, and it grows every day, which is really crazy. And at the end of the day, like, it is a nice memory to have, so I'm glad I did it.
And it was a nice bit, and it was a nice weekend. I was there, not just experiencing it on Instagram, but in real life, and it was, I talked a little bit about it last week. I don't know. I was just there's a total awkwardness to the whole college introduction. Yes, because you don't know what you're going to see when you get there, what you're going to encounter. The dormitory was kind of empty feeling, and yet there's all this activity on campus, and you see hundreds of people and cars, and then you go into the dormitory and it's practically empty. It's just, the whole thing is just, it's a weird experience, and I'm glad it's all settled out now, and he's going to classes, and hopefully if he keeps his mind on it and he stays focused, I'm looking forward to it. I hope he'll be successful in every way.
So another thing I did this week is I went to the US Open Fan Access Week. So essentially there's like a week before the US Open really starts where you can go for free to Arthur Ashe Stadium and like watch practices and stuff and tournaments, essentially, basically qualifiers and stuff. Yep. And I went out there. It was so much fun. My only thing is, it's in Flushing, Queens.
Yeah.
Typically.
Forest Hills.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question
I would
for you.
Drive there, but
when you went there, did you ever think, I might go visit that Globe?
I saw the Globe, but no, I didn't.
So
why would I go over there?
Well, it's interesting. I saw an area. I've driven by it thousands of times, but I don't think I've ever been on the campus of that World's Fair campgrounds or whatever it's called. I've never been. And I saw an aerial shot of it. You're staring at yourself in the camera. You're staring at the monitor too much. Don't do that.
No, I'm not.
Don't do that. Don't do
Dad,
that. You can check the time every now and then, but you keep looking at it and you're doing your hair in the monitor. Stop doing that. Okay.
I'm just a
campgrounds. It's called World's Fair, right? So that happened like before I was even born, and I've never been out on those grounds. And I saw an aerial shot, and what I saw is that the tennis stadiums are jammed into a corner of that. It's a tremendous field, tremendous place.
It's weird. It's like I was trying to figure out what exactly they use it for the rest of the year.
Not much,
Picnics. Which is just like crazy because it's just such a waste of infrastructure. But that's New York for you.
I think people picnic out there, and before they put the tennis stadiums, it was even less.
Right. Well, I was gonna say this. So essentially, from where we are located in New York, it would be faster and more direct to just drive there. Mm-hmm. It would take like 20 minutes.
Right.
Do you know how long it took me to get from where we live to Queens?
Almost 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah, because there's nothing direct. You got to go to Grand Central.
So horrible.
Yeah, you got to go to Grand Central and then take the subway, and the subway is not exactly a direct shot either. So
and it's just like
you take the 7, right?
I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, relatively, it is a direct shot. But I just feel as if it should have been faster. Mm-hmm. Like, at least for like the 2 or 3 weeks that the US Open is happening, like there should be a direct train that goes just straight to the Arthur Ashe Stadium. There's a stop there for the Mets and for Arthur Ashe, but like no, we have to just like get on it local and just like go. It's rough.
I've tried my whole life to be interested in sports. I just don't have the gene. I was saying this to Mommy this morning. I don't. I try. I see them talking about that tennis match that you're talking about. There's news about it all the time, and when it comes on, I'm just like, I just can't I just can't connect with it. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, and it's a social experience, and it sounds like you had a great time out there, so that's cool.
So one thing I want to do before we jump into your topics is this was a big week for music. A lot of new music came out, end of summer.
Yep.
I also think that it was like the cutoff for like Grammys submissions voting was this week. So, a lot of artists are like getting their stuff in before that period closes. So I wanted to play a little game with you.
Okay.
It's called Name That Pop Star.
I'm ready for the game.
Okay. Close your eyes. Okay. Can you name that pop star?
Go ahead.
Open your eyes.
I am not Christina Aguilera.
Try again. Christina Aguilera, please.
No, I really don't know.
All right, that is Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay.
And she just came out with a new song. Do you know any of her songs? I mean, if you don't know her face, you probably don't know any of her songs. Have you heard the song Espresso?
Probably, but I don't remember which one.
That's me, Espresso.
No.
Oh, okay. So anyways, Sabrina Carpenter came out with a brand new album this week. It's called Short and Sweet. Contrary to popular belief, it is actually her 6th studio album. A lot of people think it's her debut album. It's simply not.
I'm a little concerned about this quiz, but keep going.
Why?
I might not know any of them. It concerns me a little. Maybe you should have salted me with a couple of... But just keep going. Go ahead.
No, well, the thing is I only did her...
Oh, that's the quiz?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I don't feel so bad.
I might do it again, but I wanted to just see how it would go. Also,
right.
I didn't have anything to say about anybody else other than Sabrina Carpenter.
At first I thought, well, maybe it's Billie Eilish from the Barbie costume, but it didn't look like her.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. So, Billie Eilish has brown hair, I think.
No, but in Barbie, in the Barbie video.
in the
Barbie
music video.
That she did for the song from the movie.
Oh, yeah. That's actually...
But that would be close. But that's last year's Grammy Award. That's not current stuff.
No, Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah, this is... I can see how you thought that.
But I didn't say that because I knew that wasn't her.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, Sabrina Carpenter, that's the new it girl right now.
Okay.
She's very, very popular, has a brand new album out. I don't know why I'm like promoting it for
There's
her.
another it girl I want to talk about.
What?
So I talk about it every week. Kamala Harris.
Yeah, you do talk about it every week.
Because that's the big thing.
I guess.
So,
but nothing else is happening in your life other than Kamala Harris?
Well, there are other things happening in my life, but we're trying to keep this podcast both familial and also topical. So, you're familiar with some presidential historian by the name of Allan Lichtman?
I am as of 20 minutes ago.
Okay, so I gave you the courtesy of a little bit of an update on what we're going to talk about.
Because I wanted to play a game. I'm
so
trying
Allan
to get
Lichtman,
clips.
Allan Lichtman is a presidential historian, and he's famous for a theory that he's written. This guy's got a method for predicting who's going to win the presidential election.
Wait.
Yep.
The Stern Spiel begins now.
Okay, no, it's not going to be a Stern Spiel. What I'm telling you is that this guy's got 13, he calls them keys, that are predictors for presidential success. And he's been very successful. This goes back many, many years. I mean, this is maybe more your sister's department than yours. It's up to you if you want to bring her in.
Should we bring her in?
Should we bring in Ella maybe? See if Ella's available.
Let's see if she's available.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. Now, don't just walk upstairs. Call her.
I'm phoning a friend. Yo, Ella, do you want to come down here and do this segment with us? Really fast. Like less than 30 seconds of your time.
It'll be quick.
Okay, fine.
Yes. All right, everybody.
So it's gonna be. So how are we gonna do this? Are you gonna go out and she's gonna come in?
No, she can just sit next to me.
Okay.
We have a very special guest coming onto the pod. My sister. She is a political correspondent for the podcast. I just made that up, and that is. No. The outfit is crazy. Come on, come in. Come in.
All right, sit down next to Veronica.
Maybe the hat is giving a little bit of like. It's a Yankees cap. Here, Ella, take the microphone.
All right, Ella. We need you here for this. I'm not loving that hat. It's covering your eyes and making it a little bit making things a little bit difficult. Okay, so
not difficult.
Ella, are you familiar with presidential historian by the name of Allan Lichtman? I am. Okay, so then you know that Allan Lichtman has a system for predicting who's going to win, and he's got these 13 keys. Right, you're familiar with this theory,
I didn't know
right?
there were 13. I thought it was like a lot less than that.
So here are the 13 keys.
Wait, should I explain my knowledge of it and then
go ahead, explain
it to me?
Ella, explain your knowledge of it.
Okay, so basically there's this guy, Allan Lichtman. He goes on CNN. He's a historian, but I know him because he goes on CNN, and CNN plays pretty often in this house and also at work.
Pretty continuously.
Yeah, but basically he goes on and he has this shtick that he's been doing since the 80s where he's predicted every person who's won the presidential election for that year. And he has these indicators for reasons that the person wins. He really got on the map, like really famously, I think, in the modern context, became the person because...
Yeah, you know what? Maybe you should just do the podcast with her because this is better.
What?
Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. He really came onto the map. He started being a more notable person because in 2016, he came out and said, the polling is wrong. You guys are wrong. And nobody is listening to my doomsday message that Donald Trump is going to win.
Okay, time out for a second. I want to insert some color into what you're saying. What this guy Lichtman is basically saying is don't pay so much attention to the polls.
Yeah.
Pay attention to these indicators or what he calls keys.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if he would call it a shtick like you did, but it is a little bit of a shtick.
Well, okay.
When he comes on CNN, it's a little bit of a shtick.
I think like the background in political science is that like he would argue and other people would argue that polling is one indicator, but it's not a representative sample.
Let's talk about...
You can't only rely... And Kamala Harris, didn't she say that yesterday? She was like... No, wait. Who was it the other... I was watching CNN the other day and Angela Rye was like... I think it was about black men voting and... The CNN reporter was like, well, what do you have to say about that? And she was like, well, we can't always just listen to the polls, which is true. But is it a defensive mechanism sometimes?
So what...
Big Sister General right now.
Big Sister General!
So what
the people know what that
what
is.
Allan Lichtman is saying is that don't pay so much attention to the polls. Sometimes the state polls can be helpful. The national polls are not good predictors. The state polls maybe be a little bit more helpful. And then really what it comes down to is what are people going to do in the swing 6 states and 39 counties where the whole thing gets decided. All right, I want to talk about what those 13 keys are and give you a quick true false because the way this whole thing works is if 6 or more of the 13 true false statements are false, are you with me? If 6 or more are false,
so more than half.
Right? If 6 or more are false, the ruling party is predicted to lose the election. So the ruling party for the president is currently the Democratic Party. Okay,
really?
The incumbent.
That's how this works. It says
Joe
5.
Biden is a Democrat. He's the ruling party.
Should 5 or
No.
should 5 or less be false, then that party is expected to win. So I've gone through this, and I think right now we've got 6 false, which means that there is some question as to whether or not this Kamala Harris, Tim Walz thing is going to be successful. It's not a done deal. Now, I think the pundits are saying that there is a path to 270 electoral votes, but there is, based on Allan Lichtman's keys, there may be some uncertainty. So I'm going to read them off to you, okay?
And do you want us to do something?
Really quick. Give me a quick true or false, okay?
I don't really want to. I don't want to.
Okay, I'll answer it.
Okay.
True or false? After the midterm elections, the incumbent party holds more seats in the U.S. House of Representatives than after the previous midterm elections. That's easy.
So
It's false.
2022,
That's
it's
false.
false,
It's
yeah.
false. Number 2, there is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. That is true.
Yeah.
There's no serious...
They didn't want anyone.
Right. There's no serious contest. 3, the incumbent party candidate is the sitting president. That's false. That changed from true to false when Biden left the race.
Okay, but has Allan Lichtman come out and said what he thinks of that? Like,
Well,
Is there any scientific backing to this?
that is
I think
black and
so.
white. Ella, of all of these keys, that one couldn't be more black and white. Kamala Harris is not the sitting president.
but she's the
But she's
sitting
the
vice
sitting-
president.
yeah.
She's not the
She's
sitting
the sitting
president.
administration.
The key
No, but
went from true
yeah,
to
but
false.
I think it's more nuanced than that because what happened in 2016 is that obviously Obama couldn't run again, but Hillary Clinton was not an incumbent person, and I guess she had stake in the Obama administration, but I mean there was a lot of problems with her. But like, let's say Joe Biden had won in 2016, he probably would have influenced the decision because
You're overthinking it. You're overthinking it. You're overthinking it.
Come on.
You're overthinking it. Oh, well, we had a walk-off.
I don't like that. I can't speak.
We had a walk-off.
And I also have to go to a meeting in 10 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Ella. All right. We almost made it to key number 4, but we didn't. Key number 4 is...
Ooh, this is tough.
It's rough. Key number 4 is no third party. Key number 5, strong short-term economy. Key 6, strong long-term economy. Key 7, major policy change. 8, no social unrest. 9, no scandal. No foreign or military failure. Major foreign military success. Charismatic incumbent and uncharismatic challenger. It looks to me like there are 6 false. And so this is going to be an ongoing conversation. That's it.
That was it.
That's it.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's a lot of energy around the Harris campaign.
Oh, by the way, how was
it
the?
looks good. It looks very positive. It looks like she's going to win, but she has to crush it.
2 things. How was her interview last night?
Strong. I mean, it was like practically pitch perfect.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
because like obviously.
Yeah.
Second thing is you have to bring something else to the table next week.
All right, I will.
Red Top?
Yeah.
What about him?
I don't know. We'll get Red Top to talk about something.
Red Top, what do you have to say about Kamala Harris? No comments. Yeah. All right. I want to talk about a TV show that I've been watching that I know you have also watched. It's called Broad City.
Yes.
So a lot of people, it came out in, I think, 2014. So many people my whole life have been like, you need to watch this show. You need to watch this show. And I'm always just like, no, like, I don't really like that type of comedy. It's not funny to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm not interested. So,
Dad, you're looking at yourself too much in the camera.
So anyways, this past week when I was taking my braids out, I was like, I need a TV show to watch that is just light. There's too many bad things happening in the world. I need something light. So I was like, I will try out Broad City once and for all. Oh my God. This TV show is laugh out loud funny.
And you had not seen it before?
I've never seen it.
So I was on like a little bit of a binge for that show, I don't know, like maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
And there are some drop dead funny moments on that show. It's high quality writing.
It's high quality writing. It's high quality. I don't know what the type of comedy is called. Like, it's sketch comedy, but it's also like the way that they use their bodies for humor is just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't doing it like that anymore.
I have a friend who's a writer that would know the exact terminology, but I think it's like scatological humor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of physical humor. Excuse me. And it's a hilarious show.
So
it can be a little gross at times.
It's
but
very crude, which is like the only thing I don't love about it. But I will say this: I'm up to season 3 right now, and I think season 3 is when it went a bit mainstream.
Right.
Because the crudeness is coming down a little bit. I've noticed, and like Hillary Clinton was on an episode, Vanessa Williams. So I think that when they went a bit more mainstream, they lost a little bit of that ability to be super, super crude because like a lot of really important people were wanting to come onto the show.
My recollection is it started as a web show. So they were recording, like they just like recorded their own TV show like we're doing right now. And they posted it on the web and it got popular. And then eventually somehow they got mainstream.
So, okay, I
coverage.
wanted to say all of this because one of my favorite shows of all time is the Dick Van Dyke Show. And when I was watching Broad City last night, I was drawing parallels, honestly, to the Dick Van Dyke Show. And I was wondering if you see what I'm seeing.
Oh, interesting. Is there a parallel between Broad City and Dick Van Dyke?
I mean, obviously, Dad, the way they use their bodies, the physical humor, the quickness of the show. And they always have an after show, which is something we loved about the Dick Van Dyke Show. You know how there'd always be like the after show where
there
they would
was
like
a final segment, yes,
where they would like kind of like not like, you know, they would round up like the lesson of the show and like give us like one last joke to like leave us out.
Okay, I think I know where you're going, and I think there is a parallel.
Yes.
And, but I would say to you that like it's a 30-minute comedy serial, and I suspect that there are some things in that formula that have been around for a really long time.
Well, of course,
that are used by writers in many shows.
Of course.
Do I see a parallel? In particular, the physicality of Dick Van Dyke's character as a part of his character. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I will say this too. So the thing that is sticking in my head of like this, I think one of the funniest things I have seen on TV in such a long time, there's a scene where Alana and Abby they have to pee, okay? And they're like running around the city. They can't find a place to go and pee, which is like, yeah, that's true.
That could happen.
And they see a porta potty. And they're like, just go in there, dude. Just go in there. And so Abby's like, okay, I'll go in there. She goes into the porta potty. Alana's not paying attention. And all of a sudden, the porta potty is getting picked up by like a crane.
And put on a truck.
And it is the funniest thing I have ever seen on television. Truly, I laughed out loud. I was laughing out loud.
Yeah.
And
I don't think I saw that episode.
The comedy is just like not so simple like that anymore, and it just reminded me so much of the Dick Van Dyke Show, like how on the Dick Van Dyke Show they could make such a simple like gag and it can be so funny, and it lasts like 10 seconds and it's just the best thing I've ever seen.
They are hilarious. And the other thing, you know, the show that it reminded me of actually a little bit,
what?
The Odd Couple, which maybe you don't remember.
I don't know that one.
So The Odd Couple was a play by Neil Simon.
I know the
turned
play.
Into a really popular television show for many years. There's a guy named Tony Randall on there, and Jack Klugman was on there, and it had that sort of buddy theme, and it had the contrast between the two friends living in an apartment in New York City together. So there were some parallels.
I'm sure that's where they pull from.
There were some parallels with that one also, but it was that show is good. Yeah. Definitely recommend watching it. You know, you got a rainy afternoon, watch a few of them back to back.
For sure.
Get it out of your system.
So I don't know how long we've been recording.
It's about 25 minutes.
All right, so should we wrap it up?
Yeah, well, let's wrap it up. Always have to remind people, if you're listening to the podcast, click follow so that you find out when there's a new episode.
Yep.
Follow us on Instagram at Veronica.
At Veronica Stern.
At Veronica Stern. At New Charlie Stern. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe. You know what to do. We appreciate any time somebody leaves a comment. Oh, also on the podcast, there's a button at the top now where you can just text us, and we will respond either on the show or on that platform.
All right, one last guess that pop star.
Let's do it.
Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Beyonce.
Nice. And that's our show, everybody. The Stern Spiel, episode 8 in the bag. I hope I didn't flash anybody with my dress. I'm really sorry. And I think that was a great show.
And special thanks to Ella for coming in and bearing with us as long as she could take it.
Yeah, special thanks to our political correspondent, Ella.
We'll get her back here.
Shout out to you. And yeah, guys, subscribe, like, follow us on Instagram. We hope to see you again next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.